Check those out. Aren't those cool? Anyways, we're going to be using that. And this new orange with chartreuse black dot. Start with my tube. We're going to use the skinny end. So these tubes come with a skinny end. To be honest, I don't even know what these are really used for. I found a use for them. You can tie a fatter fly with that side or a skinnier fly with this side, a smaller profile. I like the smaller profile, but sometimes you've seen me use this bigger end, but we'll use the smaller end. I got lucky there. Sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 attempts. But that one turned out. Next, we grab the pin. The pin with the head on. I'm gonna check this one out. I did a video on this. You'll see it a little bit later. I just haven't edited it yet. Put it together. This one's pretty cool. This is all I got planned so far. I'm thinking purple, orange, with just a little bit of orange, with a little bit of chartreuse showing on the ends, with a purple head, with a little bit of flash, a little bit of tinsel. That's like a ½ an inch down, maybe. ½ an inch. Those are my dogs in the background. You'll see more of them for sure. They are everywhere we go. So more of this blue stuff, this blue tinsel. It's one of the tinsels I got turned on to when Bill Herzog did that Rasticle video years ago. And it's one of those 4 flashes that he used for the Rasticle. I was going to double this over, but let's not double it over. That's too much because there's already 4 strands on there. Let's get our purple. That just looks crazy. Okay, we have the purple in there. Let's get some orange. I'll show you what I'm thinking here. We got the purple with this blue flake, and then an orange with a chartreuse end. It looks crazy. First thought comes to mind, like this fly would be really good on Chelan right now, on Lake Chelan. There's no glow in it, but it's got a lot. It's really is a flashy fly. Let's put some head cement on it. Or no, let's wrap it. That's right, we're gonna wrap it. I would be very confident fishing this fly on Chelan right now. Up by the Narrows, all the way up to Mitchell. Like right now, if I went to Chelan, I would go right past the Narrows. And I'd either hug in right to the left, or I would hug into the right near that staircase and then probably, depending on the wind, I would work up to Mitchell Creek, and then you're bound to find some schools in there. And if anybody's listening to this that's gonna fish Chelan soon, don't be afraid to run those droppers. Run 2 downriggers, run those down, but then also run up to 6 ounces of lead. Year round, you can catch fish there on droppers. Dig kokanee fishing on droppers. That will be my first go-to, hands down. Anywhere I go, that's my first go-to. And some people are opposite. Some people like the downriggers, but I just love fishing droppers. Anywhere we go, I'll try to get fish first with the droppers. If that's not working, obviously, then I'm switching gears to, I don't know if you can tell I'm having a hard time finding the end of this. That's the downside to this tape. It is, wow, it is hard to find the end sometimes. But back to Chelan. I'm sure the fish are down by the state park by now too. I'm sure you can get a few down there. But it is just, it's like a whole nother world when you get past the Narrows. It is, God, it's a gorgeous place. And if anybody's listening that hasn't been to Chelan, hasn't made a trip there, I definitely recommend you go try a trip. Definitely go launch your boat there. And there's 2 awesome boat launches. The state park, as long as you're not planning going there past, I would say Memorial Day. Because it just gets crazy there after Memorial Day. Okay, we're switching gears here. I literally cannot find the end to that. We're going to the purple. Then there's that Mill Bay boat launch. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the Mill Bay boat launch. I hardly ever go out of that one. I always go out of the state park. And then the city park down below. That's in June. If I go there later in June, that's where I'm going out of. Because the fish are down by Lakeside Lodge and Sweets down there. That's super fun too when those fish get into 50 feet of water. That is just a blast. Such a scenic place. Especially when you're in Chelan, I would say January to even May, even sometimes in May, late May. It feels like you have the whole town to yourself, and it's an awesome town. It's got an awesome pizza place there called Local Myth Pizza, a Mexican restaurant called Marcelo's. It's a pretty decent place. I think it's the Campbell's Bar. I think on the 2nd story right there, right by the bridge. That's got some good food there too. But it's just neat. It's a really, really neat place to visit. I used to stay at Lakeside Lodge and Suites. And you can call them up, and it's a Best Western, I believe. You can call them up, and they a lot of times they have a $99 special on any room in the place, which includes like the kitchen room, and then they have, normally we're out of there by then, but they do have a continental breakfast. I don't know what COVID did to that. Boat parking can be a little bit of an issue there. The only people that are really frequenting that hotel during those months are contractors. And the rooms are nice. And it's about, I think it's 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes away from the state park launch. What you can expect at the state park every day. It could change. It could have changed this year, but because I haven't been this year yet. Last year we went a lot in February, but normally 5 to maybe 12 boats launching, maybe a little give or take. Some days 2, some days not very many. And what you can expect at the state park that time of year, like February, you won't see very many people at the park at all. March, you start to see it ramp up a little bit at the state park, and that's a great facility too. The boat launch is great. Just make sure, like, 2-wheel drive is kind of tough sometimes pulling your boat out at the state park because it gets sand over that launch. It's a great launch, but like I said, the sand gets on there and kind of makes things messy a little bit. And the docks will only be in the water maybe enough to fit 1 boat on the inside of the launch and then 1 boat on the outside. Or if you have a sled, you just nose it up to the beach. It's just a super relaxing place. And then if you do go, definitely stop up at Mitchell Creek. You can park your boat right at the dock there and then hop out and walk around. So here's what we ended up with. So I think the future, what I'm going to do, I'll continue to make videos with music and no talking maybe, but some videos I'll just go over where I've fished, and maybe it can benefit you. Maybe it can help you make the decision to go fish Chelan or Roosevelt. Maybe I'll go over Roosevelt next time and maybe talk about some spots there, spots to stay or camp or hotel. It's because it's daunting going. I remember my first time to Chelan. It seemed like big water. I wasn't sure where to launch. I wasn't sure where the bathrooms were. Just the unknown can be obviously very scary sometimes. But then you get out there a few times and realize it's an amazing place and you want to get back. Just let's hope the fish get a little bit bigger in the future. Just more than 12 inches. If they made it to 14, that's a good number. The difference between a 12-inch kokanee and a 14 always amazes me. How much their shoulders are bigger. Their stomachs are bigger. Those bones are easier to flay out. It just makes a big difference. See how I'm just rotating it. I'm just keep turning it and rotating it until that glue will set in probably 2 to 5 minutes. And then maybe I can go over Brewster, those Brewster sockeye. That's a daunting fishery, but very rewarding. But if anybody's listening that's not in Washington, Washington's definitely a place to come visit for kokanee. You have a lot of options. I would say ground zero for Eastern Washington's probably Grand Coulee. There's a couple hotels down there that you can stay at that are super boat friendly, that they just cater to fishermen. And there's some good food there. I'll go over that in the next video, but you can, within an hour and a half, 2 hours from Grand Coulee, there is a lot of opportunities for kokanee. I would say, just off the top of my head, at least 5, maybe 6. Yeah, at least 6 within 2 hours from Grand Coulee. I mean, there's the lakes where you can go get the dinks and catch a lot of them and get out of the wind. There's the lakes that are going to challenge you, like Roosevelt, some up north. And I appreciate all the support, the subscribers. We're just getting started here.